Hello, I'm Isaac, and in this video we are talking specifically about the Sprinter 170 wheelbase versus the 144. Now, I wanted to sit here and make this intro and give you some actual specs right up front in the video, and then after that we actually went to the dealer and drove a 170, and we tell you our thoughts and our initial impressions. And in another video we drove a 144, but in the video you're watching, you're gonna know we're focusing on the 170 versus the 144, initial impressions and the difference after driving both. That's what we get into later when we go to the dealer, but I wanted to start the video by giving you facts or actual numbers, if that makes sense. So the Sprinter 170 wheelbase is 273 inches long, and I'll put text on the screen. It's about 22.75 feet, and that's about 23 feet long. The 144 wheelbase is 246 inches long. That's 20.5 feet, about 21 feet. And the difference between the two is 2.25 feet, so about 2 feet longer. Now, one of the things you're going to see in this video is the 170 looks like a beast. When you're just looking at it and you're standing there looking at it, it looks huge, right? And I think a lot of people are intimidated by that. So right up front, I'm going to say that the 18-foot 144 is driving a car around, right? Parking it is going to be easy. Maneuvering through a city, it's a car. So easy to drive, right? If you can drive a car, you can drive a 144. The 170 is very intimidating. It's 23 feet long, but I don't think it's as crazy as a lot of people might think. But make sure to watch the whole video so that you see exactly our thoughts and impressions in time as we were at the dealer. So let's get into the video now. Hello, it's Isaac and Jalen again. We're van shopping. So if you've been watching all the videos so far, you know that we have now tried Ford Transit, we have tried Sprinter, and we have tried ProMaster. Now, those are all about the same size wheelbase wise, and if you haven't seen all those videos, I do recommend that you go watch the old videos. But today we're going to go try a Sprinter again, but we're going to check out the 170 wheelbase. So everything is about the 144, the Transit, they're all about the same length-ish. Not exactly, but they're pretty close, right? But the 170 is quite a bit longer.
A lot of people are intimidated by the 170, myself included, so I'm very curious to drive one.
Yes.
And see how I feel about that compared to a 144.
And feel the space for a livable home build, right? Now, we're a little bit different than most people where we come from buses, where we're used to wider vehicles, we're used to longer vehicles.
But we're also used to vehicles that have windows all the way around. Vans don't. You can put your own windows in, but even then you don't get the visual like you do in a bus where you could see out of all the windows. And
even talking to the Sprinter dealer before, he said the Sprinter 144 is 75% of sales.
Yeah, he said they don't, he said he doesn't even really prefer to drive the 170s, so I'm really curious.
So we're gonna go check it out together with you, and we're gonna go drive it and give you our thoughts, and we're all gonna learn in this video together. So let's head over there. Okay, we're at the dealer.
I didn't even notice this was a 170.
So this is the 170, and then this is the 144. It's kind of hard to tell, but and then the space inside is kind of nice. So if you did like a full size, your bed only comes to these wheel wells right here. And then you would have all this space for extra room. Kind of nice. So if you didn't, the bump outs is the big thing where you're losing your money. $3,000 for fiberglass, $2,000 for the frames and everything. If you didn't have to do bump outs, I kind of like the feel of the 170. We're gonna drive it, see what we think about it.
Yeah, depending on how it drives, that's gonna make all the difference.
Yeah.
It's a beast of a van though from the outside.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels huge. It doesn't feel like that when you're sitting in it, but like if you go stand next to it, you're like, wow. And
it looks like it comes with swivels?
Yeah,
both of them?
Swivel. Yeah, they both have a swivel.
Huh. But yeah, so imagine your seat ending there and you would have all this space forward. Like you could do a bathroom stall right there.
Yeah.
And still have room.
And have a full kitchen.
Yeah, and you could have a seat right here that flips up, a full kitchen, and a whole bathroom stall right there. So as far as buildable space,
this is quite a bit of space.
170 is nice.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to drive it.
let's check out up here. And they're doing a special on 2024s right now. It's interest free. That's a big deal.
For 60 months?
So, but yeah, the big deal is driving it. Buildable living space, 170 all day.
You're on.
Okay. Oh man. How do I go forward?
You use this, not this one on the side, right here.
Is there a curb right there?
Yeah. I'm just really curious to see how it drives.
I'm pretty sure it drives super dope. Wow, that's nice.
You're good.
I mean, so far, just driving it like this, I'm not really feeling a difference at all. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like a turn like this though, you're probably gonna have to swing out. Okay. So once it's like nothing.
Does it feel just like a 144?
Yeah. As soon as you're out on the road ripping, it doesn't feel like anything. You know? And like the amount of space so far, parking, you know, would be the difference. So, but driving it like this, like even in the mirrors, like it doesn't seem longer, you know. And you can see the back of the van in the mirrors. Seems fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The cockpit, hands down, it's the most comfortable driver.
Hands down.
Hands down.
It's got 28 miles on it.
Yeah, it feels great. Alright, let's go park. Jaylen can drive it. But my thoughts are, driving it, literally no difference. And so much more living space. So let's go park it. But, you know, I also drove around buses forever, so, you know.
Better than the mirror.
Okay, we're gonna walk around it. Exterior. I mean, so it looks obviously great. It's a Sprinter van. Looks great. It looks big, but looks really big. I drove it and I literally felt like nothing. Didn't feel any different.
Doesn't seem like it would, honestly.
Cockpit, the same as before. I like the standard swivels, but the space. So it's definitely not as wide as a ProMaster. It's a little bit longer, but being able to have your bed like end like around here and then have all that for a living space.
Yeah, it's a lot of room.
Like that's a lot of room for a living space.
Yeah, it is a lot of room.
So the 144 is nice, but I just have a hard time swallowing $3,000 for fiberglass and then more for, you know what I mean? It's a lot. And I think the big thing, people are scared of how big these are. I just drove it that far and it felt like nothing. So
But I mean, do you feel like it's so beefy when you're standing outside of it though?
when you look outside of this thing, you look at this thing,
huge.
it looks like a beast. But
Like, it looks so big, but it doesn't feel that big when you're inside.
no. Yeah, it's crazy. It looks so big on the exterior. Because one of the things I want to talk about is I think a lot of people who van life eventually end up in a house, right? So it's like if you have a bus and you end up getting a house, you're probably going to sell the bus because it's just not practical to drive around every day, which I think is one of the reasons I avoided the 170. It's because it's like, if you have a house, do you really want to rip around a 170 every single day as your daily driver?
I don't know, I gotta drive it first to determine that.
The little bit I was driving it, I could drive this around all day, no problem. So, but you gotta understand too, I'm used to driving big old school buses. So, Jaylena's gonna drive it, tell you her thoughts. I'm gonna get in just in case it locks on us.
It's just such a beast outside.
I know.
Is it on?
No, you gotta put your foot on the brake and press.
I don't know how to start it. I just didn't know if it was on or off.
Okay, I gotta put my seatbelt on. You tell me what you think, because you gotta understand, I'm used to driving big old long stuff.
I mean, I think this is a little bit longer than the Chinook, but the Chinook's definitely fatter, so I'm curious to see like the difference.
Yeah. Just be careful when you're turning out of stuff. Give yourself a little bit of room to swing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yours are so small.
But drivability wise, well.
I'll wait for this big old 18 minute. So far, it doesn't feel any different.
I know, right? It doesn't feel any different.
It feels just like the ProMaster, but it doesn't really feel different than a 144.
Yeah. And you have so much more livability.
I just think that from the outside, it's so intimidating that I would be scared to drive it if I wasn't used to driving anything big. You know?
Yeah. But I'm right, it doesn't feel like it drives any different than a 144, right?
No, this ain't nothing.
Nothing?
It's crazy.
And then you look in the mirrors, it doesn't even feel different, right?
No.
So, I think with the information right now, if we're talking about building a van to live in and having space,
This is a great option if you can drive something, like if you're not too intimidated to drive something like this.
I think 100% I would do a 170 at this point.
At this point, I would feel comfortable doing a 170, no problem.
And not to mention the money. Like, by the time you're doing I think you gotta go left right here.
Yeah, I think this is it.
You do those bump outs, man. It's like you're cutting into your vehicle, number one, and it's so expensive. So by being able to run the bed long ways saves you a lot of money. I don't know. So how do you feel?
I think it's awesome. If you could afford it and like you wanted to do a Sprinter, I think this is your best bang for your buck. Like, it's so much room. This is like a little house. And it's such a beast.
And the big reason we're doing this is the driving. You felt like it didn't feel any different.
It didn't feel any different. I felt more comfortable driving this than I do the Chinook. Size-wise.
So, we're talking about a van for a house. You have more size. You have more space, I should say. More livable space. This, I don't think this is really much more than the 144. It's about the same price, I'm pretty sure.
It's crazy.
Which is about 65 grand, brand new.
I think they just don't move these as fast.
Yeah, they don't move these as fast because people are scared of them. Yeah, man, I think it's a great option. So I think what I want to do is just kind of show you the space again. So we've got these two seats here. Cockpit is great, drives great. Go back there. So actually, will you lay down so they can see like the space difference here?
Wait, this way?
Do both so they can see. So yeah, right there. Look at that. And then look how much more van. Look how much more van you have to turn into a living space. Now, if you spent them, oh,
Is this bigger?
huh. So now, if you do bump outs, I mean, you have a million miles.
You could do fake bump outs in this and be fine if you're less than like 6 foot.
Well, then could you do that in a 144?
I don't think so.
I think so. I think they're the same size. They're just longer.
No way. I laid down like this in the 144 and my head was touching.
Really?
Yeah, this one, my head's not touching.
The space is great. Space is great.
Yeah, it's great.
And I don't think it drives any different. So the only difference you're gonna have is trying to park it. And even then, I don't think it's a big deal. Could I daily, oh, she's swiveling it right now. How hard was that swivel compared to the other one?
It's way easier than the one I had in my van.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you swivel the other one for him?
Can you go open that door? Or
Do
no?
you have to open the door?
I think you have to open the door. Oh, you probably don't have to open it.
No?
No.
And that was way easier?
10 times easier.
10 times easier.
The one I bought was a cheap one off eBay. That was universal. These are probably made for the sprinter. You have your little double seat here. Little lounge area.
Oh, bro. I think I'm pro 170. If I'm gonna do a sprinter van, I think I'm pro 170. How do you feel?
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything to drive it.
No, and you have so much more living space.
So, if you're gonna do a sprinter van, I encourage you to drive the 170 at the very least. I could rip this all day. We're gonna play a game. What would you do for a layout? Your turn.
My turn?
Go.
I think if I had this van, I would do the bed long ways and then make a huge cabinet of storage so you didn't need a closet. Have your double seat here for your lounge area, and then I thought it'd be cool to maybe do, even if you did a thin countertop here with the drop down shower so you didn't have a full shower stall, and then maybe you have the toilet sideways so it's thinner and then you can pull over your toilet out and use it, and then have your kitchen just be an L-shaped kitchen, so it'd go behind the double seat and then over. That'd be cool. Just the first thing I thought of. Your turn.
My layout. Double seat. Lounge. I would do bed, long ways. Same deal. At that point, I'm getting stumped. I would probably...
Because you could put your kitchen over here and have it swing out a little bit like people do.
Yeah.
And then put a bathroom over there, or a desk.
I don't think I would do a bathroom.
You could put a desk, like a fold-up desk or something.
I think I would do... Because it'd be nice to actually preserve this, too, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd probably do a small little kitchen in between the jump seat,
The bed, closet,
the bed,
storage.
and I'd be tempted just to leave this open for now.
I've seen people do it. It brings out, it makes the space just feel more open.
And I don't know, I just leave it open for now. That's how I would do it. But I love the 170, dude. Because you gotta think too, if you had a seat right here and you got a lounge, you just a chilling lounge right here. Doors open, boom.
It's nice having this door open right here.
Man, especially if you did an elevator bed, dude. You lift it up out of the way, you just have cargo. You know? I think I would. I would do an elevator bed and have just cargo. And then I would do a small kitchen right there. And I would do a jump seat, and I'd be tempted to just leave it right there. And I'd be using it to haul gear, drive around, do whatever. I think that's what I would do. Elevator bed. We are gonna see if it swivels with the doors closed. Go.
Oh, that's not the right one. I think you just have to have them kind of pushed upward. But yeah, it swivels with the door closed. Wow. This one's a little harder to...
All right. Dang, dude.
It's that corner one.
Dang. I like it, dude. Yep. Alright, we're gonna drive it. The big thing on this video is mainly to drive it.
It's that.
So I want to take it out on the highway. I want to really drive it. So I want to go up to, let's go all the way up to the truck stop and back. Again, ripping this thing on little skinny like city streets. I could see tight turns and stuff being, you know, kind of sucking, but honestly it's really not that bad. And then once we got this thing out on the highway, I mean, you can't even tell at all. Making lane changes, not a big deal. So in a nutshell, driving it, no problem at all. parking it is where I could see in a urban city situation, it becoming an issue. But out in the small towns where you can just take 2 spots, I don't see it being an issue. Okay. We just got done driving the 170. You just seen all that. And I think it doesn't literally drive any different.
No, it feels just like a 144. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it parking, but if you're not living in a major city trying to parallel park, I'm not sure it's that big of a deal.
It's not.
That being said, 170 is great. And between a 144 and a 170, I personally would prefer 170. You?
I could go either way. It just would depend on if it was full-time, if it wasn't full-time, you know. I could go either way.
I do 170 because I like to haul stuff.
Makes sense.
That's why I do the lifting bed. So this is a great trip. I'm so glad we did this whole series. Again, we checked out the Sprinter 144 in another video. We checked out the Ford Transit in another video. And we checked out the ProMaster in another video. Go back and check that stuff out if you want to see all the different types of vans. Oh, the warranty at Sprinter is actually 5 years, 100,000 miles. Big deal. Okay, I'm Isaac. If you've never been on my channel before, consider subscribing. And this is Jaylena. She has a channel. I'll put it in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in another one.